I have some very impressive figures for you. Did you know that the United States has about 1/6 of the world's population and almost 1/2 of the world's wealth? That's beautiful figures. And we live in a great and magnificent country. But have you ever noticed that the order of the day is to be sick? In other words, it is more common to be sick than it is to be well. That's the reason why the HMOs have so much business going. The insurance companies have so much business going for them. Now, here we are, the richest country in the world. From sea to shining sea, we have the beautiful waving grain, the best fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and grains that grow in the world grow in this country. We are a beautiful country, but yet we're sick. Most of us are sick. In fact, it is so rare to be well in this country that when one of us breaks away and becomes totally well, we're called a health nut or health freak. Now, there's got to be a reason for everything. It's called cause and effect. There is a reason why we are sick in this country. The very thing that is intended to make us well, keep us well, is our food. The one clue that we have is that whatever it is, everybody is doing it. Whatever it is that's making us sick, everybody is doing it. And the one thing that everybody is doing in this country is eating. So we know that it has to come from the food. The bottom line is, I have a picture here that's going to tell you the whole story in a nutshell. So all we need to do right now is have a look at that picture. This is the picture I'm talking about. This is basically the way we eat. Hamburgers, stuff, colas, and it keeps us very, very ill. You can't eat this way. This food, it is processed food. And all we have to remember is human body cannot do anything with dead food. This picture kind of represents what we are in America. It kind of represents the story of success, from the ales to the colas to the white flour and the cheese and the French fries. It's all represented in this picture. But it's also a picture of total deadliness. Now, if that's true, and you know, I didn't really learn this until I was 48 years old. If that's true, then what are we supposed to eat? Well, we're supposed to eat things like fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, lentils, beans, melons, just to name a few, because these are living foods. They are alive. And the only things that will work in us is living food, because the body is a living entity. In fact, every 90 days, the blood replaces itself. Our blood is totally new every 90 days. Every 11 months, every cell in our body is new. That means every 11 months, we have a new heart, new spleen, new lungs, new kidneys, you know, and whatsoever. And every 2 years, every bone in our body is new. Ah, yes. You know what that really means? It means you don't really have to live with arthritis. Okay? So now, as we can begin to understand that the body regenerates itself fully every 2 years, the first question that comes to people's mind is, if that's so, why then do we get old? Very valid question. And I'll tell you why. Because every 90 days, every 11 months, every 2 years, we use the same worthless junk to build those cells, those bones, that tissue. That's why we continue to grow old. You cannot live better than the fuel you use. Nothing can run better than the fuel it uses. And with that in mind, and we can all pretty well attest to that, because when we put regular gasoline in that leaded car, you get regular performance. That's what happens with us. We're using regular fuel where we are due the best fuel. That's the only way we will work best. That's the reason why we are always hurting somewhere. That's the reason why the headache is because of what we eat. If you want to know what's worse than what we eat, is when we take medicine to try and take care of what we've done to ourselves. That's even worse than the food we take, because the medicine is poison. Its base is potash or coal tar or petroleum. And so no medicine as we know it today can cure us. It can't clean a cell. It can't reproduce a cell. In fact, it helps to pollute that cell. All we need to know is just some basic things, since we do reproduce ourselves all the time. In fact, the human body gets rid of 1 billion dead cells an hour. We are reproducing ourselves. So half of the waste of our colon is us. It's taken to the colon via the lymphatic system. All you need is just that basic knowledge about how to take care of yourself. The best way in the world to take care of yourself is be your own doctor. In fact, I'm in better health than I've ever been in my life, even when I was 17 or 21. I'm in better health today than I've ever been in my life, and that's because I have decided to take over full and complete control of my health. Nobody takes care of my health but me. And I have found out, not only have I become healthier, but it is fun to take care of myself. I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, and I know what goes inside of me. And that's what this tape is about. This tape is appropriately called the cause of our illnesses. We need to wake up, America, because we as individual adults is responsible for our own health. That's what this tape is all about. If we can remember that and do just the slightest things to take care of ourselves, we will find that we will get totally well. We have taken illness as a way of life, and it doesn't have to be that way at all. There are people out there that are totally sick, and they don't even realize that they themselves have made themselves ill. My illness was caused by my ignorance, but my wellness is caused by my knowledge. And that's what I'm doing today. My aim is just simply to tell people how easy, how simple it is to take care of oneself. But you have to know what it is that made you sick. Processed food is what makes us sick. Live food is what will make us well. Now you find people that go out there and they come to the realization that this is what has happened to them, that they have been made ill by their own bad habits. And so what they do is they immediately stop the bad habit and start good habits. It's great, and that's really the way you should do. But there is a hiatus. There is an in-between. There is something that needs to be done between those 25 years of good eating that you have done and those 30 years of bad eating that you did before the good eating. And this is why people come up to me and tell me how good they eat, that they only eat living food and what expense. They'll go to any expense to have the right food. And then the next question they say to me is, why don't I feel better? You don't feel better because you did nothing between the two. In other words, when we eat this